The future of hundreds of migrants still living at a detention centre on the small Pacific island of Nauru remains in the balance as Australia continues to debate how to resettle them. The Prime Minister Scott Morrison has rejected a compromise proposal by the Labour Party to amend the country's legislation over border protection after retabling an offer by New Zealand to accept the refugees. More than 600 people are still thought to be living at the centre, which has been used to house those who have been intercepted trying to reach Australia's shores by boat. The facility has long been plagued by allegations of human rights abuses, and some people, including children, have had to be moved amid a mental health crisis on the island. Our correspondent Hal Griffith is in Sydney for us. Hal, you've been following this for a long while now. Just bring us an update on what exactly is happening here.
Yes, well, these hundreds of people are still essentially stuck in limbo. As you said, they were taken to Nauru to be processed for potential refugee status. There was an offer from the US government to assess some of them to be taken over to the United States, but that process has been very slow. While some have actually made their way to the US, hundreds more remain. Now, the Australian government's position has always been that they should never be allowed to enter Australia. It turned down an offer from New Zealand to take 150, claiming it would be a backdoor to Australia. That position seemed to have weakened just last week when the new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, said maybe there'd be a way to do a deal as long as they were never allowed to come into Australia. However, he seems to have cooled very much on that deal at the moment. There was a by-election at the weekend. That's one suggestion why he was willing to discuss it last week. Maybe not contemplate it this week.
Oh dear, so politics at play, but of course we're talking about people here. What of the asylum seekers and what happens to them next?
Well, as you said, there are real concerns over the health, both physical and mental, of many of those. We know just this week that another 11 children and their parents have been brought here to mainland Australia because of the concerns. We heard from Médecins Sans Frontières recently about the concerns for the mental health. Psychiatrists there who'd been working with the children but told by the Nauru authority they were no longer needed. I think this situation has come to a head as it did in Manus last year. However, no easy option anymore. There are no other offers on the table to resettle these people. The Australian government says it doesn't want to create a situation where people traffickers are encouraged to trying to come to Australia knowing that actually they would be allowed to come in eventually. So I think once again these people are in limbo with no obvious solution as to where they will go.
OK, Hal Griffith, thank you for the update there live in Sydney.